Hi, it's me again. In this video, I want to explain one of the areas of our course that I love the most because I think it's one that gets overlooked a lot in most HACCP courses, and I think it's one of the most important aspects of HACCP. Stage 3, the preparation. Stage 3 is all about gathering information. And typically, if you've ever done a HACCP course before, if you've been in a HACCP team or if you've been a HACCP team leader, you'll know that every HACCP needs a scope. And that is the Codex stages 2 and 3, where we bring together information about the product description, the intended use, and the intended user. But preparation is much wider than that. And within our course, we explain why. So preparation is all about gathering the information that we need in order to be able to identify the hazards within the hazard analysis. So in our course, we go into a lot of detail around this stage so that you know how to do that and how to then identify the hazards that is appropriate for your product and process. And to do that, we go through things like the reference material. So you know that you always have to have a list of all the references that you've used in your HACCP, that we tend to just get out when an auditor comes along and asks for it, but we don't generally understand why it's needed. So in our course, we explain what HACCP references we should be using and how you use that information to then identify the hazards that you need in your hazard analysis. We go through material information, which has to link back to the material and supplier risk assessment, and we show the direct link between those two things. We go through product information, which includes your typical product description, and how you identify hazards from the product information itself. We go through zones, so we look at the risk assessment to determine what zones are appropriate for your business, whether you need low risk, high risk, enclosed product, all those kind of things, and how you look at that information and identify hazards. We look at the facility plan, which doesn't generally sit within HACCP in a normal standard, but it's so important. It should be in there because that's where we look at all the cross-contamination risks within the factory and how you identify the hazards around cross-contamination. And then finally, we look at the process flow diagram, which is what you typically expect to see in the preparation stage and how you identify hazards from that. So if that's something that sounds of interest to you, if you've always wondered why we put a scope together and want to make it really valuable within your HACCP, then click the link below and we'll send you some information.